Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. We're back on the dev server and we're having a look at a bunch more changes that Gaijin have put into it. Looks like in general the dev server is going to be wrapping up pretty soon. In this update they added a lot of stuff that usually they add in the end of the dev server. So we have some loading screens to have a look at today, and then also some other changes. So as always, if you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe and also like the video. I'm getting better day by day as well, so you won't have to deal with nasally me for too much longer, and we'll be running at full gas very soon. So let's get started. First vehicle, Mosquito B Mark 16. This vehicle has been through a million changes over the last period of time, and it's going through a few more. First of all, this vehicle is now 3.7, so it's no longer 3.0. That's probably because of the improved engines and also some improved modifications. They added some rockets to it, the good old RP3s, and also they added the big old Uncle Toms. What is also interesting about the vehicle is somebody must have cocked up, because they've added 9 4,000-pounder HC Mark IIs to it. Now, obviously, this vehicle is not designed to carry 9 4,000-pounders. It should only be able to carry one. So just to take that into account, and if you actually try and put it in a stock loadout, you can actually see you can't take it because it's too heavy. So yeah, somebody must have just hit the wrong button on that one. But it's still going to be a good old rank 3, still going to be a squadron vehicle. It's just they've added the rockets to it, which I think will be kind of useful in some ways, especially the Uncle Toms. Like, they have quite a lot of explosive mass. If you can generally actually aim them pretty well, then it can work good too. The other thing is this is 3.7 in all game modes, so it's not just in Air RB, so in ground and also naval, it will be exactly the same. One of the things they've also changed. Now, I use a custom hangar, so I can't really show you this, but basically what they've done is they've changed all of the vehicles which usually sit here, and then also all of the vehicles that usually move around. So they're moving to all of the new premiums and also all of the new vehicles. So don't be too surprised when those change, which I think is pretty cool. They also added in a bunch of ejection seats for many different vehicles, and also they changed fuel dumping for Harriers. Basically made it so you can do it at a little bit higher speed, and also you have a slightly higher minimum speed too. But just to give you an example of vehicles that are getting access to ejection seats, they are just adding them to everything. So first of all, the Drakens get some. So this is the J35A and also D. The Mysters are getting ejection seats. The F-84s are all getting ejection seats, the Fs and also the Gs. And the Super Mysters are getting them too, including the SAR. So nearly everything has got the ejection seats nowadays. Now, this might not be a huge deal to a lot of people, but one of the things it does change up is when you're on the airfield, it means that you can quicker reload in Air Realistic, or just like any of the air battles, it takes you only 1 second instead of 3 or 4, which means that you can just instantly change and then go from there, which I think is actually pretty cool. So yeah, I think generally this is a massive change for that, and I think that's pretty awesome. Another vehicle set that has also changed, one of the more obviously recent additions to the game, a big boomer this year, was the FA-18C, right? This has been added in pretty much every tech tree nowadays, or at least that's what it feels like. And now what they've done is they've updated the models on them. So all of them have updated models. You have the ANAPG 73, you have, of course, the 20mm, but you also have these avionics blocks. So they have modeled them underneath the pilot in 4 sets, and each of them, I'm sure, will have access to different parts. So this one does the MFD in the hood, this one does the MVD in the RWR, and the other ones don't seem to do too much, but maybe they will in the future. You can also see the engines have been amazingly modeled too, and all of the little different pieces, even the auxiliary power unit, which they did say they were going to start adding in auxiliary power units at some point, not just for tanks, but also for air. So you can see on the F-18, they've actually modeled it. So maybe the auxiliary power unit stuff will come in December, or maybe even this update, who knows. So this is the F-404 GE-402. It looks really nice and looks really, really good. So another part they've also changed is the F-14B. They've changed the in-vehicle zoom. So instead of it being 4 times to 10 times, which it was previously, it is now 12.6 times to 44.6 times. So this means that it's going to be a lot easier to be able to use specific types of ordnances, and also the thermal for it has been improved too. So it's just going to be so much nicer. Another vehicle that has also been changed is the F-16AM. This thing has an insane hood, by the way, so I just want to see if I can kind of show it to you. But also, they've changed a few other things to it, such as they've added a laser designator to it, which makes sense because, you know, the vehicle does have laser guided munitions, so without that would be a little bit crazy. So you can see this is the hood, and it's, wow, it has a lot of information. And I think this might be one of, if not the most kind of, you know, technical hoods that we have. It also kind of tells you when you should actually launch your AIM-120s. You can see that number in the bottom. I don't know if any other vehicle actually has that on it, but that actually gives you such a huge amount of information in terms of it. So yeah, just they've really done a lot of work with this MFD, and also of course the hood just in general. So this will be one of the more technical vehicles that is coming up in general, so I'm sure a lot of people will enjoy it and look forward to it for Sweden. I understand that Sweden isn't getting a ton of stuff in this update, but I mean, they are getting one of the most sophisticated F-16s in the game, which I think is really, really cool. Now, the next part is the AH-64E. So this vehicle right here, what they've done with it is they have changed the AN/APG-78 on it. Basically, it used to have the V6 AN/APG, and now it just has the standard 78, which means that its range is cut in half compared to what it was before. Now, it still should be completely fine. It still should be able to go forward and be good, and you can see all the updated kind of x-rays on these things as well. Looks absolutely nuts in terms of it. So yeah, the Japanese AH-64E also gets access to the same radar. So these AH-64Es are worse than the standard AH-64E that you find in the American tech tree. They have worse radars, and then also they don't have the DIRCM. So they're still going to be very good because they have all of the AGM-179s, but they're just going to be not as good at seeing things, and also not as good at being able to defend themselves. You can also see that they have got their own camos now, so they do look different in terms of how they're set up. You can see this one's also been changed in name. This is now the Mk.II, which is the one with the AGM-179s, and now they've actually modeled the radar. It has the AN/APG-78V6, so that's pretty cool. For the Netherlands as well, here is their AH-64E, if you wanted to check it out. This one does have the upgraded radar, and then also it does have the camo for it too. So that's how they're unique, that's how they're different, and I think that's kind of cool. Talking about uniqueness, you obviously have the BM Oplot-T for Japan, right? Well, China is getting their Oplot. This is the Oplot-M, and they haven't really changed anything in terms of the vehicle, but they have at least added some more camos to it. So you have the standard one, then you have the quadricolor, and then also you have the unicolor. In the files, there is another camo, which is kind of set for it, so that could be kind of fun. But who knows at the end of the day what's going to happen? Who knows indeed with this vehicle, since it hasn't really changed. I thought it was going to. For the BTR-82AT, you also have a few different changes to it. The missiles didn't appear from the correct place, so they wouldn't actually fire from the correct place, which is why they looked really awkward when you fired them. But now, with the sight that this vehicle has, you'll be able to fire them from where they're supposed to come, and that will be very good. They've also changed a new missile, which is coming in for the Chinese. If you remember, they added in the Z-10ME more recently, but they've added another missile to it, which is the BA-11. Now, what they've done with it is the mass after burn boost has been increased, so now it's 37 kilos instead of 36, but the boost force is only 445 newtons instead of 500. So it means that it's not going to have as much force from moving it in, and the gimbal limit has been halved, which is quite aggressive. So these aren't as powerful as they were before. They're still going to be very powerful, and I doubt they're going to add more of these. They're not going to add it like the CM502s because they are crazy powerful. But yeah, just understand that they're not as powerful as they were before. They've also moved around a few modifications for the Hawks, and I think generally this is going to be needed. So the Hawks being at 10.7 and where they are, they've decided that it's going to be a little bit easier to kind of grind them out. You can see here on the Hawk 200 RDA, this one doesn't have guns, and its stock loadout is 2 AIM-9Ls, and that's it. So you're going to basically have 2 AIM-9Ls, and then you're done. So they've moved the AIM-9L modification to rank 1. So the idea is obviously you try and grind it out to start with, but then you have to wait until rank 4 to be able to get the Sky Flash, which is the whole reason why this vehicle is at 11.3. So yeah, sucks. But at least it's a little bit easier now, because guess what? The AIM-9L modification used to be at rank 3, which is just insane. They've also just done a bunch of menu text changes and things like that. Nothing too crazy, just like fixing some wording and fixing some things. And then also they've added in some new loading screens, which is really nice. So first of all, we have a AH-56 one. This one looks really good. You can see the toe being fired and also all of the little kind of pieces of it. I think this one looks pretty awesome. And then we have a Hawk 200 one, which is really cool to see. So you have them firing the sea missiles. So hopefully we see some more like anti-ship combat in the future with these things. Because, you know, they're one of the big things that Gaijin have been adding this year is anti-ship missiles to these vehicles, but they don't really have a lot of targets to be able to fire at. So this one looks really cool too, especially with like whatever this is on the bottom here. Looks like sea, but also some explosion on it. And the last one is one of the mainstays of the update, the EBRC Jaguar. Look at that. Doesn't that look really cool? And how it's set up, I think that's pretty awesome. So they've also changed a bunch of like little icons for the vehicles and a few of the little pieces here and there. But basically, this update looks like one of the last ones before it hits live. So look forward to the update coming out this week and just kind of enjoying it as it goes. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.
I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.